It was the first sequel to the first real hit home video game system. It had better graphics, better sound, and was just that one step closer to that elusive arcade-perfect home television experience. But thanks to a little bad luck, a little bad timing, and a lot of questionable decisions, not to mention the jankiest controller ever made, it became not only the Atari 2600's first sequel, but also Atari's first real flop. This is the Atari 5200 Super System, or at least this is the box. The system itself is right behind me. Hi, I'm Paul, and this is Indie Pop Productions, pop culture from an independent point of view. And today we're obviously going to talk a little bit about the Atari 5200 Super System. But first, let's back up a little bit. My life is a little busy. I've got a lot going on right now. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know I have been gaming since the Atari 2600. And I didn't stop there. I didn't just hang out in the past. I've gone all the way up to now. Having a PS5, a Switch 2, I have a gaming laptop, I have Game Pass on my ROG Ally. I have always stayed in the present when it comes to gaming. But lately, I just don't seem to have the time to game the way I would like to. I still love the industry, I still love the hobby, but some of these games, I mean, minimum of 20 hours to beat, some of these more than 100 hours to beat, and I just don't have the time to get that involved in something so massive. Sometimes I just want to take what little time I have to plug something in, play it for a little while, and then just turn it off and be done with it. Not have to think about it again till I have a little bit more free time. And that's had me thinking more and more about retro gaming, because that's how gaming used to be. I spent some time recently on my Switch 2 playing the excellent Atari 50 collection and all the DLC for it. It's got great flashback documentaries and games played on every Atari system, all the hits you expect, especially once you get the DLC added in. Namco puts Pac-Man on there, Dig Dug, which is one of my favorite games of all time. It is an absolute blast to play, and it's those games that you could just pick up, play, and put down. Now, about a month ago, a few weeks before Christmas, you can probably tell from the decorations when I'm shooting this, it's just a little bit out of Christmas, so we still don't have all the decorations down yet. But my wife, Andrea, and I drove all the way to Winnie, Texas to go to Larry's Old Time Trade Days. I like to go over there every once in a while. You look at all the different vendors have, some of them are like just a hodgepodge, like a little garage sale or an antique store. Some of them have little boutique-y booths with clothing, or there's a cool comic book shop. I like to go there that also has other kinds of collectibles, all kinds of stuff. Whatever you're looking for, there's a vendor there that has it, or there's just, the outside vendors that are kind of in the grass and have just a collection of whatever that they're trying to get rid of at that time, whatever they picked up and they're trying to just flip. And it's a lot of fun. We go there, it's open one weekend a month, and we go and we hang out. And this day, we're walking through. We haven't hit any of the boutiques yet. We're still looking through the outside vendors and their little hodgepodge. And I'm not paying attention. I'm not looking for anything specific. I'm enjoying the day with my wife. We've got one of our dogs with us because this kind of place is very dog friendly. And I walk by this one outside vendor that has your regular hodgepodge, and a box catches my eye, but it takes me a minute to realize what I just saw. So I keep going a little bit, and then I stop. Like, wait a minute, did I really just see that? I turn around, and there is that 5200 box I just showed you, sitting there, decent condition, but for a box that's more than 40 years old. So I had to stop, and I looked. I'd already been thinking about this retro gaming thing, and it's sitting there. And the lady says, "Hey, you can open it up if you want." I open it up. The system in there, looks good. It's got all the pieces. It's got the original power brick. It's got two controllers, janky controllers though they may be, two controllers. Has the manual is in there for whatever reason. A 2600 Star Raiders keypad is in there. I have no idea how that got thrown in the mix, but whatever, I'll take it. I'll play Star Raiders on the 2600 at some point again, I'm sure. But I looked at it and I said, how much? And she said $75. I was like, okay. So I'm gonna have to think about it. And so I started to walk away, and then she says 60. I could go down to 60. I stop, I look at it again. I'm like, oh. I was like, I might be back in a few minutes. So I go off with my wife, and we go to the next set, start looking closer to the boutique area that she likes so much. And she stops and she says, Paul, if you want it, go get it. But what she didn't understand, and the lady at the booth didn't understand, it wasn't the is it worth $60 that was bothering me. It wasn't even the 75. That's actually, if you look online, that's for one in decent condition with a box. That's a very, very reasonable price. And you look on eBay, you're gonna find it for more than that. If it's that range, it says for parts only. So you know it's not gonna work. They're gonna tack on massive amounts of shipping on there. So the 60, extremely reasonable. But my problem was, I know me. I can't just buy this, look at it and go, neat, nostalgia, put it on a shelf and display it for everybody. I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna research it. I'm gonna find ways to make it work with my modern television setup. I'm going to start buying games for it. This is a rabbit hole of retro gaming on an actual original piece of hardware. That's a rabbit hole I know I won't climb myself out of. Do I need another hobby with everything going on in my life right now? But at $60 and already having thought about wanting to get into retro gaming, I just couldn't pass it up. We didn't get far. I ran back. I gave her the $60. I grabbed a couple 2600 cartridges she had on sale real cheap, because why not? I'm sure at this point, I'm like, I'm probably gonna end up getting a 2600 again at some point too. But I just had to take that box home with me. And so I did. I've got it set up. Let's dig in. Let's see what it is I got. Because at this point, after bringing it home, only $60, I don't even know if it works. And that is, at that point, that is a very real question that we've got to find the answer to. All right, first, you will see that this is the dual port, not the 4-port. The original that came out had 4 ports, and it had a really, really bizarre power and system for power and plugging it into your television. Thankfully, they changed that. So this is the 2-port. I've got a more traditional and like we still use all the way to this day, power brick to plug in. I've got this little cord right here that plugs into the television. Only problem is, this is an RF. They don't make anything that plugs into an RF anymore. So it's, what in the world am I supposed to do with this? So what happens? I get this thing home. I'm like, I need a game. I need a game. So I go out, I go to the two places in town, go to the 3 places in town that sell retro gaming equipment. None of them have anything for the 5200 except for one copy. One of them has one copy of Pingo, no box, $20. Have to have something. So I'm like, $20 for a game I'm not even really familiar with. I've heard of it, but I've never played it. Okay, fine, why not? I need something just to see if this thing works. Well, the problem is that RF switch. There's nothing around here that I could find that's gonna make that RF switch work. That RF thing. There's no adapter. There's no one around here has anything. So I know it turns on, and I've got a copy of Pingo, but there's no way for me to plug this into my television. So I go online, I do a little bit of research, and I order a RF to coax adapter. Very simple. I get a couple of them. Comes with 2. Works great. In the meantime, though, I've also ordered a few games that we're going to check out today. And didn't need Pingo because for $40, I got several games. I got 5 games. We're going to check out 4 of those today because one of them is football and I don't care. I'll check it out eventually, but I really don't have a lot of interest in sports games. But I've got Pac-Man, I've got Space Invaders, I've got Breakout, which is the original Pac-In title, and I have Pole Position. So all 4 games that I do love. And we're gonna check those out. And now we've also got this, what now feels like a very overpriced Pingo that I'll check out as well. Now, one thing about these systems, it's old plastic. And you'll see this thing is massive. This is PS5 huge, especially compared to the old 2600. This thing is just a monster, but it's unnecessarily large. There's a lot of empty space here. If you look, there is a little spot back here that you could sort of hide your controllers in the trunk, but you'd have to wrap them up perfectly. No way I will ever put those in there because if I do, push down wrong, this back panel will break. You will find more of these that don't have the back panel for that trunk than do. So I'm happy to have it. I'm gonna keep it in good condition. I'm not gonna mess with that. Unfortunately, I hit the front of it just right, and the front little piece popped off and broke, as you can see here. I just got a little bit of duct tape on there to hold that in place. Really can't tell unless you're looking. But since it's off, let's take a look on here. You will see this is still the same basic design as the 4-port model, only instead of having 4 controller ports, it's got 2 controller ports and 2 empty slots that are the exact same size. So they've changed some of the internals, but they kept the frame exactly the same as it was before. All right, so we've got this thing plugged in. Gonna take Pac-Man, plug that in, and give it a try. Okay, looks so much better. This is a massive improvement over the 2600. If you've ever seen the 2600 version of Pac-Man, it is an abomination. This looks a lot closer. Still not quite arcade perfect, but it looks pretty good. But found out real quick, my controller goes left and up. Not much you can do with just left and up, but that's okay. I have 2 controllers. Let's plug the other one in. Okay, this one goes right and left and up. Still can't go down. So, not gonna have a lot of luck with Pac-Man here. So, let's take this out. Let's pop in Super Breakout. Now, Breakout only goes left to right, but let's see if I can make this work. Okay, we've got left, we got right. I'm not especially good at this game, and this controller is janky as heck to control. This is a game that always worked better with a paddle. There is a trackball that you can get for the 5200. No paddles, but a trackball. But good luck finding that trackball for a reasonable price. I guess there weren't that many of them. I would be playing a bit more for that trackball than I did for the console itself, so I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm not sure about that, but it does at least work. A little janky, it doesn't move quite right, it's hard to get into the right position, but at least, yes, Super Breakout does work. Now here's Pingo. Man, this controller's janky. But after playing for a second, I realized, hey, how come I'm able to move down? How come I could move the controller down on this, but I can't move it down on Pac-Man? I'm not sure what the difference is in there. I do know that this controller is considered to be very janky. Different games have different control schemes, so it'll work a little better on some than others. So I guess the down isn't completely broken. I can't for the life of me get it to work on Pac-Man, but apparently it doesn't move really well, but I can at least move up, down, left, and right on Pingo, though it does take a little finagling, and man, it's hard to get the timing right. This control really is very janky. Now, Space Invaders. Okay, Space Invaders. This is one of the greatest games of all time. This is the game that getting it on the 2600 is what made the 2600 blow up so much and grow to the point to where at some point they said that 1 in 5 American homes had an Atari 2600 in it. This only goes left and right. Again, the movement, a little janky. The controller's not great here, but it does move. I could shoot, I could go left and right. I can enjoy Pac-Man. I can enjoy Space Invaders. It's gonna take a little getting used to. I have not played this kind of game in a long time. Very different from today's games. I do not have the hand-eye coordination I did when I was a kid playing these games originally, but Space Invaders on the 5200 looks great. And I think I'm gonna be able to play with this even with the janky controller. Now, pole position. I love pole position. I love racing games. Big fan of the Forza series. So was very ready to plug this in, play it, see how it feels. It looks a little better than the 2600. Honestly, the graphical differences between this and the 2600 on pole position, surprisingly, aren't as different as they are on, say, Pac-Man and Space Invaders. But still looks great, still plays great. One problem. According to the manual, up moves you into low position. Down puts you in high gear, and down, like on Pac-Man, apparently is not working on pole position with this controller. So round corners great, left and right is fine. Actually feels slightly less janky than it did on Pingo, Breakout, and Space Invaders. I'm able to make it around the track just fine, but I cannot get over 105 miles per hour without changing gears, and I cannot change gears, so I cannot make it past the qualifying round on pole position. So a little disappointing that I'm not able to play this the way I would like to with this very messed up janky controller. I know I've complained about the jankiness of the controller quite a bit at this point, but I am very excited to have this. Before even shooting this video, I've already ordered some more games. I have ordered a couple more controllers, one third-party controller, also a refurbished original 5200 controller, so I can get the feel of playing these games the way they should be. I am very much looking forward to it. You're gonna hear a lot more from me about this system in the near future and Atari in general now that I'm going down this rabbit hole. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you will enjoy going down this rabbit hole with me. But a little warning, before we quite get to that next 5200 video, I do have something else I want to talk about, something a little bit more modern, something a little newer, something a little bit more portable. Man, that never gets old.